Good evening, everyone. Hello. I would like to welcome you all to the NJ Khan for Mayor Community Leadership Dinner tonight. We will begin with a Quran recitation by Imam Hajj.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين صدق الله العظيم. Respected brothers and sisters, it is an honor for me to recite the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from all of you. But I just noticed that my mashayikh, my teachers, the esteemed mashayikh are sitting here, and it is really difficult for me to translate while the bunch of knowledge scholars are sitting. But the occasion is that I will just summarize the last ayah which I recited from Surah Al-Baqarah. I think it's very relevant at this occasion. Many of you are sitting here by choosing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and by chosen by the people of the community, are serving in the government in the different positions, police officer, judge, I will name it. And many of you are willing to serve the community, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose the people. Allah says, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. Allah does not impose upon any soul a duty, but to the extent of its ability, for it is the benefit of what it has earned and upon it. The evil of what it has wrought over Lord. Do not punish us if we forget or make a mistake. Our Lord, do not lay on us a burden as well. So let's go on. Basically, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose what is in this ayah and according to the person's ability. And then Allah selected that person and that person gets selected, deselected by the people. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us tawfiq and understanding and to follow His order. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you so much, Imam Hashim. Now, everyone, please rise for the national anthem. We will now have a recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance by Nashra Khan.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. I would like to welcome you all to the MJ Khan for Mayor Community Leadership event tonight. Tonight, we will hear from several speakers who will touch upon various topics, and then we will meet candidate MJ Khan. This is a great opportunity to learn more about the upcoming mayoral election and how it affects you. And by the time we have concluded this program, we are sure you will be informed, energized, and convinced that you have the best candidate in MJ Khan. We will have a break for Maghrib and dinner will commence after the program. We would also like to extend our appreciation and thanks to Ahmed Al Yassin and Fedis for sponsoring tonight's dinner. We are exceptionally proud to introduce our first speaker tonight, Imam Dr. Wazir Ali. He is the esteemed Imam of the historic Masjid Warafuddin Muhammad and one of the founding members of Masjid Al-Quran, known as Mercy Community Center in Houston, Texas. He has been a steward of the growing community here, an esteemed professor of nutrition at Texas Southern University, imparting wisdom and knowledge, and active in so many facets of improving our communities, working to improve lives across the board. So many have benefited from his lectures and wisdom, and the community in Houston is much greater for his contributions. He is speaking tonight in his personal capacity to support MJ Khan. Thank you, and then Dr. Wazir Ali.
Assalamu alaikum. Oh, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. That's all praise due to God, regarding all the cherisher, sustainer, and nurturer of all that is in existence. We witness that none deserves worship except Allah, and we witness that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his messenger. Brothers and sisters, take a moment to look at the person next to you and find a reason to compliment. Go ahead, look at the person next to you. Otherwise, be very tasteful with your compliments. But look at the person next to you and find a reason to compliment them. Now, as you look around, you will see that MJ Khan has gathered this evening a very diverse, educated, connected group this evening as he begins a historical journey. I believe I met MJ Khan when I was 18 years old. I was a young man who I just moved to Houston, Texas to go to school, the University of Houston. And my mentor, one of my mentors, Imam Marvin Muhammad, who is the local representative for the Coalition of Good Government, he introduced me to Mayoral. And over the years, I've had an opportunity to build a relationship with MJ Khan. And I can tell you, as a friend of his and a colleague, he has always supported efforts to uplift others. From my experiences with him, every program that we've done in the city, be it the Put the Neighbor Back in the Hood program, which some of you may not be aware of, but we had a program where we went to the most blighted areas of the city and we cleaned those areas up. We had literacy campaigns, we had education campaigns, health and hygiene campaigns. MJ Khan supported it. When we had the Need to Feed program, the Need to Feed program is a program that fed thousands across the city of Houston, Texas. MJ Khan supported it. So it's these very small, seemingly, gestures that make a difference, because we can all present ourselves one way in public. Each and every one of us. We have a perfect persona. We can say we're going to do this. We can say we're going to do that. We can say we want to help this group. We want to help that group. We want to help this, that group. But what I can say is, when no one else was around and no one was listening and there were no cameras and it wasn't a photo op, there hasn't been one time that we called on, and Imam Marvin can witness this, there has been one time that we called on MJ Khan for his support to get something done in this city that he did not support us, whether it be financial, resources, shooting us to or pointing us in a certain direction. One day I got a call from MJ. He said, "Imam Wazir, did you sign this petition?" I said, "Yes, I signed this petition." He said, "Why did you sign this petition?" And it was at that moment I appreciated the fact that he was called me and voiced the fact that he didn't agree with the decision that I made. And we had a very intelligent conversation, and we agreed to disagree on that matter. Yet, although we disagreed, his support never stopped. His friendship never stopped. The ability to call him and talk to him never stopped. And this was no small issue we disagreed on. a major issue that we disagreed on. And yet, the fact that we disagreed did not cause them to stop supporting us like so many people will. If you don't support their exact agenda, they will stop supporting you. So this evening, we want to invite everyone here to support and engage Muslim Americans and people of good consciousness into the democracy of the United States of America. The United States of America has a promise, and all of us in this room are benefiting from that promise. All of us are benefiting from the promise of we hold these truths to be self-evident, meaning just look at your human constitution, and there's evidence in your human constitution that all men are created equal and are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, among them life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. All of us, none of us sitting in this room this evening is not fully enjoying the promise of the Constitution of the United States of America. In 1990, when Charles Bilal ran for mayor in Coos, Texas, as the first Muslim running for office in the history, running for mayor in the history of the United States of America. And when Charles Bilal was voted in as mayor in Coos, Texas, which is right next door to Vidor, Texas, he was an African-American Muslim who was made mayor next to one of the most racist towns in the United States of America. That was the testimony of the realization of the promise of America. Now, when you look at M.J. Khan, moved over to America, living the American dream, came over as an immigrant, built a business, contributed to the community, eventually ran for office, for city council, was the first Muslim in the history of Houston to be elected to city council. Then he ran for the city comptroller. And each step, he reached further. So I was so humble when MJ called me and said, Wazir, I want to get your advice. I'm running for mayor. Or I'm thinking about running for mayor. And I need you to advise me. And the first thing I thought was, I don't know anything about running for mayor. I'm not sure if I'm the one to advise you. But then I asked him a number of questions. I spent 30 minutes on the phone grilling him, and I didn't ask him softball questions. I threw some of the hardest questions that I could throw at him, and he answered them, and he answered them, and he answered them. Then he invited me to his house, and we sat down for dinner, and we spent another 30 minutes, and I kept asking him all these hard questions over and over and over and over again. And he answered them, and when he didn't have an answer off the top of his head, he acknowledged that this was something that he would need to research, think about, and come up with an answer to. So in that discussion, I saw someone who had the humility to recognize when they need help, but also had the conviction to share with me their position and how they will lead this city. Brothers and sisters, those of you who can vote, you have to vote for somebody. Now you have to decide who you're going to vote for. Your vote is worth more than money. Your vote is worth more than your house. Your vote is worth more than your car. Your vote is worth more than all your material possessions, because those things can only go so far. But your vote can change the reality for many people. Your vote can change the life and circumstances for many people. Had those of us who had, my parents, who went through a civil rights movement and all those things, had they not stood up and voted, most of us would not be sitting in this room tonight. So we are beneficiaries of a legacy of voting. So let's get energized. Let's get excited. I can't listen to the message, and you make the decision who you're going to vote for. But tonight we're here to support and encourage you to support the next mayor of the city of Houston, Texas. And say that to yourself over and over again. Because we are the first people to have to leave. We're the people that have to say it. How many people didn't think they had a chance to win office? Or they thought they were underdogs, yet they ran and they were successful. Those in this room, and I told them that night, after I sat with them for 30 minutes at his dining room table, I told them, you have told me enough. I will support your bid for mayor, and when you ask me to do something, I'll be there to support you. So we have to believe it first. Those of you who are supporting, you have to believe it first. You have to say it first. And as myself and my mentor, Imam Marvin told, Muhammad told Masroor, we're going to support you if you're in it to win. And that's why we're going to support you. And he said he was in it to win, so we're going to support him. May Allah guide you. May Allah protect you. May Allah give you the wisdom. May Allah give you the vision and perception to lead Houston to a brighter future, inshallah. Peace be upon you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wow, thank you so much, Dr. Namazali. Now we would like to welcome Bill Fraser to the stage for his expertise in words. Bill Fraser is a proud Houstonian, a precinct chair in the Harris County Republican Party, and a vastly experienced CPA who knows the inner political and financial landscape of the city well. He has over 35 years of experience in the financial services industry and 26 years as CFO of one of the world's leading commercial real estate financial firms. He is past president of the Houston CPA Society and has served on the board of directors of the Texas Society of CPAs for the past 20 years. He was the leading candidate for the Houston City Controller in 2015, an election which went to a close runoff. He has expertise in campaign strategy and campaign analysis. He will share with us some analysis of the current mayoral race and discuss MJ Hahn's path to victory. We are grateful for his expertise and insight tonight.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, Mona, for that introduction. As Mona pointed out, I ran for controller actually I ran twice, 2013 and 2015. In 2013, I ran against Ron Green, the incumbent. I was a completely novice candidate, had no idea what I was doing, and I was scared to death. And so I lost to Ron Green by fewer than 4,000 votes. So I decided to try it again in 2015, and I was running against 5 other people, and MJ Khan was one of the other 5. And I can tell you right now that I knew that MJ Khan knew what he was talking about. He was the only other candidate who had the wherewithal, the background, the experience to know how to handle some of the financial issues that the city had. And I was very proud when I took first place in the primary against Chris Brown, and MJ endorsed me. And I can tell you I was very, very proud to have MJ's endorsement. But in that year, I got out of about I ran and I lost the runoff by only a few thousand votes in 2015, about 3,000 to 4,000 votes. But there were 54,000 voters that year that voted in the primary that did not come back and vote in the runoff. 54,000 voters. MJ ran for controller in 2009 against Ron Green. And he also had another candidate in the primary, Pam Hall. So there were 2 Republicans and 1 Democrat. And Ron Green and MJ each got about 35% of the primary votes. So he was running in the runoff against Ron Green. And MJ lost that election by 2,058 votes out of 178,000 votes. Can you believe that? 2,058 votes. 37,000 people failed to show up for the primary. So don't you know that the people in this room tonight, friends, supporters of MJ, had you known that the vote was going to be that close, could have found 2,100 other people out of 47,000 that failed to show up, 37,000. I know that you would do that. Also in 2015, Bill Keene was an independent candidate who sought the Republican endorsement for mayor, and he placed second in the primary to Sylvester Turner. Sylvester Turner had 86,000 votes to Bill King's 66,000 votes, a 20,000 vote margin. In the runoff, King lost to Turner by less than 4,000 votes. But as I said, in 2015, 54,000 voters failed to show up to vote in the runoff. So in the runoff, Turner gained 22,000 votes and King picked up 38,000. So out of those 54,000 voters that didn't show up, don't you think that if the King campaign and the King supporters who might have known it was going to be that close, don't you think they could have gone out and in their community and rounded up another 3,000 voters to help Bill King get over the finish line? And when I say supporters, I'm talking about people like you. I'm talking about the people in this room. I'm not talking about the campaigns. The Fraser campaign, the MJ Kahn campaign, the Bill King campaign, they were working very hard to try to round up voters. But when you have that many people that don't show up, it's very, very difficult for you to win an election. So it's critically important that all of MJ supporters, people like you here tonight, it's critically important starting now. You have to reach out to your friends and reach out to your community. You have to reach out to your business associates, reach out to everyone you know and tell them to make sure that they support MJ Kahn and that they vote. They have to vote. So let's look at the reason we're here tonight. We're here to support MJ Kahn. We're here to support him as a friend. We're here to support a man who has shown tremendous leadership in the community. We're here to show a man who's been a successful businessman, a man with a wonderful family, highly respected former city council member. Someone who has a heartfelt concern for this city and has been his home for over 4 decades. A man who has the courage to step up and stick his neck out to run for mayor. Let me tell you, it takes a lot of courage to run for mayor. It takes a lot of courage to run for any public office. It's not easy. When I first ran, I was scared to death. I didn't know what was going to happen. I had to get up every day and go out and face the criticisms, and I had to hold the line. I had to tell people what was going to happen, and it was very difficult. But not only has MJ been displaying courage, he has been, in the past 2 months that I've been working with him, he has shown that he is determined to win. And I can see that determination in his eyes, and I can feel it. And I know that in his heart, he is determined to win. So I think that working together with somebody like that, we can win this election. So let me point out what the landscape is. There are 7 viable candidates for Houston mayor running. Okay, Sheila Jackson Lee, Democrat, 28 years in Congress. John Whitmire, Democrat, 40 years in the Texas legislature. Lee Kaplan, Democrat, a first-time candidate, a Democrat, partner in a local law firm. Amanda Edwards, Democrat, an attorney, former city council member with attorney who works for Bracewell. Robert Gallegos, Democrat, current city council member for District 5. Gilbert Garcia, a Democrat, a bond investor, first-time candidate, former head of Houston Metro. And then there's the sole Republican in the race, MJ Kahn, the only Republican in the field, former city council. Former respected city council member for District F, which is the West Chase, Haley, Sharpstown area, a business owner, investor, a civic leader, Republican candidate for Texas House District 137. So he's got really strong Republican credentials. 6 Democrats, 1 Republican. Based on my analysis of the last 2 mayor's races, the last 3 city controller races, the Democrat primary in 2022, the general election last November, I see the pattern, the same pattern over and over and over again. The conservatives do very well in the primary. They always do well enough to get first or second place, but not well enough to win outright. When you have 6 or 7 candidates in a race, that rarely happens. So at that pattern, when you look at that pattern, conservatives usually have 1 candidate in the primary, and then you see their supporters not showing up to vote for them in the runoff. Okay, MJ Kahn was certainly given the runoff, and I can explain how in just a minute. And he can, with your help, win the runoff and become the next mayor of Houston. Why is there a clear path in the runoff? The turnout will be close to 300,000 voters. That's a little bit higher than the normal 270,000. The reason there'll be more voters this time is there's 7 candidates running. They've all got a lot of money to spend. They're going to drum up a lot of support and a lot of turnout. The Democratic candidates will split the Democratic votes and all the votes of the liberal-leaning independents. The Democrats will be fighting to take votes away from each other, and that always happens. They're going to fight. The more votes in the primary that one Democrat gets, they're taking away from another Democrat. So that pattern will significantly help MJ get into the runoff. Republicans will turn out too. Republicans will vote in this election. There'll be a lot of Republicans voting in this election. And MJ will get most of those votes, and most of the votes of the conservative leaning independents. MJ can, if he gets half of the percentage that the conservative candidates in the mayor's races have gotten the last 2 times, and in the controller's races, he will get into the runoff. Just half of that percentage. I think he can do a lot better than that. How does he win the runoff? There's 2 things. One is, in the runoff, the Democrat candidate will be faced with the same problem that Tony Buzbee had in 2019, when during the primary he attacked Bill King. There were 2 conservative-leaning candidates, both independents, Tony Buzbee and Bill King. And Buzbee attacked Bill King during the entire primary. And so as a result, King supporters stayed home during the runoff, and Buzbee couldn't catch up without King's support. MJ can win the runoff if his supporters stick with him and work hard to get a huge voter turnout. This is your opportunity to make meaningful change. You can make a huge difference by making sure everyone you know and everyone you're able to contact supports MJ and gets out and votes. Just look at the analysis back in November 2022. This past general election, it's a countywide election, but there were 76,000 registered voters in the county who are of Asian descent. 76,000. 46,000 of those voters did not vote. Okay, 61% non-voter turnout. 9,200 of those voters live in City Council District F, MJ's old district. I know we can reach those voters. I know you can reach those voters. 65% of Hispanic voters stayed at home, and 55% of all voters stayed at home. Remember when I said that that MJ lost to Ron Green by 2,058 votes? Bill King lost to Sylvester Turner by less than 4,000 votes. I lost to Chris Brown by only 5,000 votes. Where were those votes? Those votes were sitting at home. Okay? And we need to shake them out and get them out to the polls. MJ has a clear path to win the mayor's race. But that path has to be established by you and maintained by you. His friends, his supporters, he needs your help. He needs your help by getting people out to vote. He needs your help from donations. You cannot win without steady, good funding. He has to buy yard signs, direct mail, advertising, social media. It takes a long time. It takes a lot of money to win this race. He needs you to put a yard sign in front of your yard, your window, etc. He needs you to make a list of 25 friends, and do this tonight when you get home, 25 friends that you are going to contact, either by face-to-face, on the telephone, email, or whatever. Don't text, don't just assume that person's going to vote, but contact that person 3 times between now and October, and 7 times between October and the time that person votes. You have to contact people. When it's your responsibility to make sure they go to the polls and they know that, they will vote. I have seen this happen. They tell them to vote early. Contact them the first week or early voting and make sure they vote. And then if they haven't voted again after early voting's over, call them again and say, you didn't vote early voting, go to the polls. Help drive them to the polls. Make sure they get there. Do whatever you can. But don't let this opportunity pass. By working together, starting now, MJ Khan will be the next mayor of the city of Houston. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Ali Shikani, a devoted family man, accomplished entrepreneur, successful businessman, police officer. In honor of his late mother, he established the Shameen Shikani Foundation, a nonprofit organization that offers comprehensive food kitchen and various public services to support individuals in need. With his experience in law enforcement and business, as well as his commitment to public service, Ali Shikani is devoted to enhancing the safety of his community. He is a Republican candidate for Constable Precinct 3. Ladies and gentlemen, Ali Shikani.
Thank you, Mr. Feather. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, all the rich people out here today. I want to say first thing before I introduce myself, thank you, MJ Bhai, where are you? I cannot see you. MJ Bhai, thank you. Thank you for being a good leader, and thank you for standing up. It takes a lot to run for the office. Please give him a big round of applause. Inshallah, you will be the next mayor of City of Houston. So thank you very much. All right, so let me introduce myself. My name is Ali Shikani. I'm the CEO of Shikani Group, a police officer, and running for the Fort Bend County Constable Prison 3 office. I just want to say it takes a lot to run for the office, and that's why I admire MJ Bhai. It's not a small thing to running for the office. So inshallah, we'll make it happen. And MJ Bhai, I promise you one thing, it's take a lot of money, it's time consuming, and before we end this tonight, trust me, you will receive a lot of money, a lot of support from this community and all the other community. Thank you everyone again, appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fraser and Mr. Shikani. Our next speaker, Dr. Sara Rizvi, is a pediatric physician and public health advocate, a recognized pediatric medical expert in national media, who has been serving the community in pediatric emergency medicine and general pediatrics for over 20 years. She has worked with UT Health Pediatric Emergency Medicine in the Texas Medical Center and as faculty at Baylor College of Medicine and with Texas Children's. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, she has been part of the team building and providing Texas Children's pediatric telemedicine services. She has been an active contributor and advisor within many Houston community charities, with special emphasis on disaster services and care for the underserved and for refugees. In this regard, she has become well acquainted with MJ Khan's leadership and community involvement, and is here to speak in her personal capacity on MJ Khan's candidacy. Dr. Rizvi, we welcome your words tonight.
Honored guests, I'm grateful to speak before this forum today, and I thank you for your time and attention. A truly momentous opportunity has come to all of us here in Houston. For the first time ever, we have a Muslim leader running for the mayor of the city of Houston. As you heard from Bill Fraser, this is a largely contested election, but it creates a unique situation that is advantageous to MJ Khan. This situation doesn't happen every day. MJ has a clear path to get to the runoff, and from there he can win with the support of our community and properly getting out the vote. He's a unifying candidate with something to offer everyone in Houston if we can get the message to the voters. So absorb that for a moment. And let me repeat, and let me emphasize this. For the first time ever, we have a Muslim leader running for the mayor of the city of Houston, and he can win. Colleagues, this is also an opportunity to make your voice heard, to contribute to the well-being of our entire community at large, and to the betterment of Houston in a lasting way. This is Sadaqah Jariyah at its best. Our civic engagement will also inspire future generations to take part and have a stronger voice and vision in their lives and their cities. So just imagine the impact you can have here and now, and what you can show them they can do. It's also a chance to show the nation what our diverse community of Muslims are really about: community service,
building and bettering our cities, business and family life, good friendship, citizenship, and stewardship. We are a huge part of a diverse political landscape, and we aren't just another photo opportunity or political stopping point. No, our individual informed voice and concerns, and our voice and our vote matters on all sides of the ballot box. But it isn't just that we have the potential for the first Muslim mayor of Houston, though certainly this is nice. We have a solid, qualified candidate for mayor, the best candidate for Houston, and he can win. Each of the speakers that came before here today is because of their strong belief and strong conviction that MJ Khan is our best and most qualified candidate, and this is my strong personal belief as well. Let me tell you why. His heart is Houstonian. His service and focus has been Houstonian. He has served its communities as Islamic Society of Greater Houston president, president of Pakistan Association of Greater Houston, and Houston City Councilman. Years upon years he has spent serving within this city, leading the way and leading by example. He and his family always believe in giving back. ISGH started a 57-acre Muslim cemetery from a land donation by their family. They donated additional land on Highway 6 and by Masjid Hamza. MJ and his wife were honored by the city of Houston for their outstanding community service. And MJ was also honored by the State Department as an outstanding American by choice. This is an honor given to American immigrants for their civic leadership and contributions. His list of honors, accolades, and accomplishments is long, and I could go on all day, but I won't. But what is most important about all those accomplishments is that they are not selfish. No, he works for the people, and he gets things done which have lasting impact. Rather than just talk, he's what I call a service leader. He's out on the streets of Houston every day, doing things and making lives better. He knows what we need in terms of financial management to keep this city running efficiently and to create opportunity for everyone. Don't we want our tax dollars to go to programs and services that work? Don't we want this city to be a hub for local and international business in the years to come? And he knows what we need in Houston to move forward as a world-class city and how to get that done. I invite each one of you to meet him and talk about his position so you can be as convinced as I am. He has real solutions for the problems we face, whether it's addressing flooding issues or the impact of climate change and population on our water supply, or whether it's issues on how to streamline city budgeting and reduce our deficit. That's huge. And probably big on everyone's mind these days, working with the first responders and law enforcement to address crime and increase safety. You all want Houston to be a safe city to live and do business, yes? You want your tax dollars to work for you and your families, yes? Well, executive leadership is a skill. It requires time to develop, and it requires experience, insight, and vision. Leading a city requires knowledge of business management and hometown knowledge of that city and the issues it has faced, is facing, and will face. MJ Khan isn't coming from the halls of the legislative branch, where ideas and bills are debated and speeches are given. He's coming from extensive, real experience in the executive branch of City Hall and our Houston community organizations, where budgets are made and practical plans are envisioned and executed in real time. He has a long record of community leadership here in Houston and community service here in Houston that have resulted in lasting benefit. Let me give you a few examples. In 1986, as Pakistan Association Greater Houston president, he established the M.A. Jinnah Scholarship program at the University of Houston. It is still supporting students today. In 1997, I remember Houston experienced a huge rise in crimes on convenience store workers, including many high-profile murders that made the media. He took the lead and held a public memorial service, and almost all the stores closed in observance. The city took notice, And the result was they appointed a police liaison for the community, started safety requirements for the stores like bulletproof shielding to protect workers, and the result was many lives protected. As ISGH president, he united our community. He organized countless community service engagements that showed the entire city of Houston how valuable we are as contributing members. And after Hurricane Harvey, while others were shuttering their spaces, he worked to open our ISGH masjids to all in need of shelter. That is what we are about. And the city again took notice and began to value the Muslim community for its contributions and consider its voice. As city councilman, he's worked hard to improve life in our city and inspire all of us to civic engagement. Many qualified people who had never been given a chance before were appointed to boards and commissions during his tenure. He lowered taxes for Houstonians. He supported efforts to make the city safer and full of more opportunity. Harlem was cleaned up from burgeoning crime and got a police station, which benefited the businesses there. Have you seen Bel Air? Bel Air crime was also reduced. Have you seen Bel Air today? The amount of development there, that kind of development opportunity is now coming to Harwin and Hillcroft today. Shifa Clinic, Ibn Sina clinics, they got funded from the city and are now pinnacles of the community and serving Houstonians far and wide from all walks of life. If our organizations are supported, they can do more. And if they're good community stewards, the entire community benefits. And his work has been ongoing. During various Houston charitable efforts, he's been totally engaged with the community on the ground through donations, organizational skills, mentorship, you name it. He's a builder for tomorrow. He leaves a legacy of benefit for others. Well, this is what we are also here for. This is the legacy we want to leave behind for our communities, for our future generations. This matters for us and for them. City leadership matters. The right city leadership is immensely important right now. We stand in one of the largest cities in the United States, leading others with technology, medical advancements, energy innovation, with one of the largest and most diverse populations. We stand here as an ummah, as residents and citizens, an example to others of how much good we can accomplish. We have a duty to represent and a duty to serve. The growth of the city, yeah, it causes challenges. And yes, the city bears some toll from lack of management insight and some clear planning for the future. People have become disillusioned. Crime is out of control and some opportunities are passing the city by. But it's not too late. With the right leadership, the opportunities for Houston are immense, far-reaching and wide. We need a homegrown Houstonian who knows the needs of the city and can manage its budget and deficit and build these programs. And who will do it from the heart, because it's the right thing to do. It's now our responsibility to be active, engaged, contribute, serve, and along with this, to be a voice in choosing our mayor. Each one of you is here today because you are regarded as a leader in your own right and among your peers. This is a time to show your leadership. Get out the message. You must get out, talk to your neighbors, your communities, the person you meet on the street. Like, share the website, share social media postings. On your tables, there are bumper stickers, and I challenge each one of you tonight to put that on your car. Get out the vote. Make sure you're registered to vote, and that you encourage others to do as well. And don't sit home on election day. As you've heard from Bill Fraser, every single vote counts. He needs your donations. Campaigns require proper funding to do the work of getting out the message to the voters. This is just a reality. So please donate up to the maximum you can individually and encourage others to donate. Consider holding a fundraiser event in your communities. This is an investment in your future, your children's future, and Houston's future. Let's not let this great leadership opportunity pass us by, because this moment, right here and now, comes once in a lifetime. At this time, I want to turn your attention to a small video. At the end, you will hear a young boy at the ISNA convention, inspired by MJ Khan, who asks him a very important question, and I want you to hear his inspiring answer.
MJ Khan, president of the Islamic Society of Greater Houston, an organization that represents 21 Islamic centers in the area, said in an interview on Tuesday, this is an obligation, a religious obligation to help others, Khan said. When you give, you don't give only to your own family. You give to anybody who needs help.
So this guy organizes 4 pods, staffs them, stocks them, and opens the doors. Plus he runs up 50 doctors to go help the city. Plus he sent volunteers down the city. He's sending volunteers around the whole city.
In this economy, we need a proven leader. MJ Khan is the only truly qualified candidate. MJ Khan has worked tirelessly on city council for over 3 terms, defending city spending and whole city departments and government. MJ Khan is a true conservative. However, trying to resolve those budgeting and streamline processes to save taxpayers' millions. MJ Khan has deep roots in Houston, has earned 2 master's degrees. He understands business and finance, so he has to lead innovation. MJ Khan has a good record and a vision for a financially strong Houston. A vote for MJ Khan is a vote for the American dream.
What inspired me to run for office? What gave me hope that I might get elected? I just might get elected.
You can get elected. I know that because you have better things to offer to the society. Your teaching of Islam prepared me much better than anybody else I know who can serve the society better. And when the society is better, all of us are better. And that's what inspired me. Because I believe if I can put in place some of the things which are my teaching, which are my learned from Islam, the society will be better off. And when this society is better off, we are all better off. We talk about welfare, we talk about financial crisis, all of those things have answers in our faith system. We can provide answers to each and every one of those crises. Globally, internationally, we have to supply ourselves. Now we are better prepared because our full faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes us really, in a lot of ways, a better member of the society because we don't have the age of the society. So you can be better and you can be the better councilman than I am. You can be the better congressman than Pete Allison and Ahmed Carson, and you can be the better president than Barack Obama.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to introduce your candidate and inshallah the future mayor of Houston, MJ Khan.
My dear brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be unto you, those of you who don't know Arabic. We may make some little changes. Actually, one of the things I wrote down a speech and I don't know where it is. So I have to talk from the heart, I guess. But what I would like to do is, because maybe in about 15 minutes or so, we will have Maghrib time. So I will take short time right now, and maybe after Maghrib I can come back again and share some other things. But few things is, I hope what happens tonight is that each and every one of you find out the answer to this question, which I'm amazed that our community members are asking, not just me directly, but asking to other community members. Does he have any chance of winning? Believe me, that's the same question from literally the same people were asked 20 years ago when I ran for the Houston City Council. If I would have listened to those voices, I would be so discouraged, and I would be sitting at home, and you will not have the first handsome bald guy in the city council.
We did it.
So people who are helping the campaign, we have a one kind of similar attitude about this. We don't pay attention to naysayers. What we believe is that if you have purity of your intentions and you make the best effort, you don't worry about the result, because results are in somebody else's hand. And with the purity of intention and sincere hard work, the help will come from there. It may not come from the pockets of people who have, if you go to any campaign to finance support for the city of Houston, you will see the line after line of people who are supported from our community, all the campaigns. But they are very reluctant to support their own brother. Why? Because they don't believe what we believe, is that when you have the purity of intention and sincerity in your hearts, the help will come from there.
Yes. Yes, we
Now,
can.
what I want from each and every one of you, give me an opportunity, ask a tough question. Imam Wazir Ali, I'm so thankful to you because you did what everybody else should be doing. You sat down with me and you asked some of the toughest questions I can think of. And when he's convinced, then he said, I'm going to support you. So I need your support, of course. I need your vote, I need your support, I need your money. But not because I'm your Muslim brother or I'm your Pakistani brother. No. I want your support because you believe that I am the best candidate for the mayor of Houston. And that I am. If you do it based on that, then that is the right way of supporting any candidate. So my brothers and sisters, I will come back during the dinner and I will lay out my plans for you because it's important for you to learn all this. But I invite all of you to reach out to the people in your community, among your friends, ask them to just give me an opportunity to explain why I can win, just like Bill Fraser just said, and what my plans are. And then after that, if you support me, don't support me, that's fine. Okay, with that, I think we're going to go with Brother Ahmed and Yassin and Dr. Ansari, because they have the more important task than I am, which is to reach out to your pocket. It's an unfortunate thing that for campaign, we have to need money, and so we have no other choice except to ask for that. Please, may I, Brother Ahmed and Yassin, and I will come back and inshallah we'll go over some of the plans for the future.
Thank you so much, Emir Khan, for those riveting words. We are proud to honor you tonight and look forward to having you as our mayor of Houston. With that momentum, we would like to introduce our esteemed colleagues, Ahmed El Yassin and Dr. Kashif Ansari, to the stage for a few words.
Yes, sir. You say your word here for me and then we'll see.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm given the most difficult task, I guess, but this is a pride moment for me. Talking about my brother, Mr. Ranjit Khan, he's my mentor for the past couple of decades. I've seen him through goods and bad times in the city, during the personal issues, this and that of my family and all that, and he's always been there. Today it is my privilege to talk to you guys and request you personally, along with Brother Yassin, to speak on his behalf and tell you guys how important it is for him to go there where we look up and say, wow, this is it. This is the dream of America coming true. This is why you and I came to this country. And it's not because he's just a good man. He has a proven history for many, many years. In every field, Brother Yassin, every field, even if it is sports, if it is, showbiz or studies, education, Islamic education, normal education, the security issues, this gentleman, for the past more than 2 decades, has a proven record. Not only for the community, for the whole city. Yes, so tonight, I'm going to start off with the gentleman who I have known for a short period of time, but I've known him for a very, very generous attitude towards all the community events we have seen so far during his short stay in Houston so far. Maybe he has been here longer enough, but I haven't known him. His name is Mr. Ali Shekhani. He's going to make a pledge and he's going to say a few words. I will start with him so that each and every one of us can get some sort of inspiration from him. Please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Ali Shekhani.
I'm gonna let Brother Ali say something and then I will go ahead and take the stage and I'm gonna rock the floor. So be ready, guys.
Hey, thank you very much. Thank you, Kashifai. You are just amazing. What I have to say is just one thing is let's do something big tonight. So where is Kashifai? Sergi, so it's your day. So I think I'm gonna pledge whatever the amount you said. You know, I'm a businessman and all of you rich people out here. So we are expecting $500,000 tonight. Can you do that, Kashifai?
Think so? Come on. Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm gonna say, Kashifai, what should I say? 10, 20,
Nah,
30,000.
has to be somewhere
40.
north of 25,000.
All right, so let me do it. $50,000 from my side.
Oh my God, this is it. This is it. First $50,000. Please let
All
me
right, I have one more thing. So I need one hand for $50,000. Come on, all the rich people, all the multi-millionaires.
Zaid Bhai, where is Zaid Bhai? Where is Salim Bhai? These are the two renowned people for community.
Right.
And they got a lot of money.
But I cannot see them right now.
Yeah, I saw it somewhere. I don't know. This is the time, probably you went for prayers or something. I don't know. Is Zaid Bhai here? Or Salim Bhai? Zaid Bhai, please come on stage. Please come on stage. Please.
Zaid Bhai, so
please give him a big round of applause. Mr. Zaid, no, he doesn't need any introduction. Anytime he wants to sit on the plane for the past 20, 30 years, we have called him and he's made sure that we land safely. He's a big businessman, but better than that, he is a bigger heart. Today he's going to announce something big, and where is he? Oh, he's wearing his jacket. See, this is what the camera does to you, right? He wasn't wearing his jacket, he was hot, kind of cleaning his forehead and all, and all of a sudden, the camera saw and he got his jacket.
all right, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna let Zaid Bhai.
No, stay right here.
Oh shit.
Stay right here.
I'm gonna have to put some more money.
Zaid Bhai, please come on stage. Please welcome Mr. Zaid.
Zaid Bhai.
What do you want me to say?
Let's.
Oh,
Please.
Khan Saab is a very good friend of mine. When he asked me, I want to be the mayor of Houston, I just asked him one question.
Okay.
Do you have a permission for Dr. Atia Khan?
Oh.
And he said, yes. Yeah. I said, if you have a permission for Dr. Atia Khan, then I'm your old friend. So there is no restriction. I will do whatever it takes to make you to be in the city office, mayor of Houston.
Awesome.
And I told him I will raise personally more than $25,000. That's including me, my family, and my friends. They will all support me, and I, inshallah, I'll make sure I'll raise more than $25,000.
Awesome. So we have $75,000 already. We have $75,000. So
Okay. This is in here, I'm gonna say a few words for all of you all to know. I'm not gonna talk about MJ. I want you to hold a fundraising for just 5 minutes, please. I'm not gonna talk about MJ Khan. I'm gonna talk about all of you, including myself. I wanna talk about our community. Not about MJ Khan, because MJ Khan is doing a favor to our community by running as a mayor. It is us. It is each and every one of your duties and responsibility to stand by him. He doesn't need to come and knock on everybody's door and ask to vote for him or contribute to him. We're supposed to stand as a community, make an example to Houston, Texas, and to every other candidate that is our community, is a big community, and we are standing by our candidate and by our brother MJ Khan. That's what our responsibility is. And that's what each and every one of us must do. We don't need to go ahead and tell you, give the money. You're supposed to come in here and give the money. I'm supposed to call him and tell him, hey brother, I'm going to give you my check and whatever it is I can do. There is no limitation. You can do from $10 up to $5,000. Couples can do $10,000. But that is not the issue. Politics is two things: money and votes. Trust me, I know a lot about it. And now we have a golden opportunity to stand next to him as a family. It would be shame on us in our community to go ahead and do a fundraising for other politics when we have our brother in here, as he mentioned, and he said, there is some of our community that go fundraising for others, and that is our brother. I don't need to like MJ Khan, I could hate his guts. But he's gonna be there to represent me, represent my son, represent our community. We have 17,000 registered voters in Harris County. If we get half of that, plus whatever he can get, I promise you, he would be in the runoff. And I know MJ Khan for so many years. When he ran for a city council, I asked him. I opened my door for him. Years ago, I think 21 years ago or something. And I told him, I said, my responsibility, my duty as a brother to stand next to you. And that is what we all have to do, because I promise each and every one of you, if he wins, it's an example, it's gonna be worldwide to us. Everybody's gonna talk about it. So if he has the guts to run as a mayor, then we should stand next to him and support him. I kindly, honestly, I speak from the heart, wallah. I don't need nothing from nobody except to Allah and one day. But I promise you, if we stand to him as an example, we cannot stand with others when our brother is here. You don't need to like him. You need to put your differences aside. I know how our community works. I know how we think. I know how we operate. They can come and tell him, sure, brother, I'm going to vote for you, but they go and vote the other one. You don't need to go ahead and whatever it is do for the others when you have your brother standing. It is us. We can make a difference. Our community based at the state in Houston, Texas, we are one of the most educated, one of the most hard workers. We got the money, we have the profession, we have everything. What stops us for to electing one of us to be the mayor of Houston, where it's going to be an example, it will be a history made. That's in Houston, Texas, where our community has made a history by standing next to our candidate. That's amazing, that's big. You must stand there, really, honest to God, I'm telling you as brother and sister. Don't hide, don't do here, don't play these games or whatever it is. I'm with you and you're not with him. In front of Allah, give him your loyalty and stand with him, because wallah, we need somebody like that. And I'm telling you that because I know the pain we go through. I get involved in the political arena so much. I give so much politician. I meet with a lot of politicians. MJ Khan will tell you. When he went to the Republican Party, they told him, if Ahmed and Yassin stand with you, we are with you. Therefore, we have a golden opportunity. I am a Republican. It's my duty to stand next to him, no matter what. Besides the point, Republican or Democrat or whatever party, forget that. He's our brother, meaning that we've got to be committed to him 100%. Now we're gonna come back to the. I have to say these things, my brother. Now we're gonna do this. I'm gonna mention something here. My brother, Tariq Hussein, he was the first one actually to give his check. So he gave that my check 2 weeks ago in my office. Am I mistaken? So I told him, hold your check. When we're gonna come in here, do it. So we're not going to ask you. We're not gonna make a bet in here. And I asked my brother, please, this is our brother. Like I said, it's our responsibility to support him. If you can't, you can do it. Do it. Ask your neighbors, ask your cousin, ask everybody in front of Allah. That's our brother. We got to stand next to him and get the support, because if we, the whole community, and he goes June 31st, that is, he has to give that report. June 30th, sorry. By June 30th, he cannot go there with 200,000 or 300 or 500,000. We're gonna look so ridiculous, it's not funny. He has to go there with a big check. That is, he said, this is in here. My community is standing, that's from my community. And guess what? I promise each and every one of you, When he goes there strong with a big bucket, full bucket, I wouldn't say big bucket, full bucket, and he has our back, every other politician will come to us and ask us to be next to them. Because they will respect us by standing to our brother. But they're gonna disrespect us by turning our back to the other side. And we're gonna look so ridiculous, it's not funny. And our community, we are very well loved, big, and respected. So please, donate generously. I ask each and every one of you. It's not, if he has to go June 30th with a big number. That big number is gonna reflect on us as a community. So therefore,
I'm just going to make a quick interjection here. On everybody's tables, we made it easy for you. There's QR codes for donation.
Now let me say that we have a good-looking man here. Looks like he has a big pocket. And he's gonna say, so I finished talking. So, but I will never finish talking because I'm gonna stand next to you, brother. I'm traveling tomorrow. I'll make my phone call while I'm overseas for you. I promise you that. Wallahi, this is a committed قدام Allah, not قدام هو. Because we all got to stand next to our brother. Here we go, brother.
Thank you, big brother. I want to say Mr. Kuram, he's from Pakistan, Karachi as well, and he wants to play $10,000. Thank you, Kuram. Thank you, Kuram. Thank you. You want to say some good words?
Yeah, first of all, assalamu everyone, good evening. Very proud to say, Mr. Andy Khan, that you're running for mayor for Houston and representing Republicans. So we're very proud, we're behind you. You have all our support. Whatever we can do for you, we're here for you. And like this gentleman said, you have to come here and show your support by pledging or whatever you can do financially to support. So me, Karam Khan and Majid Bajwa will make an effort and raise $10,000 for you for this cause. So thank you all.
So now we have already $85,000. Come on, put some big round of applause for $85,000.
This is what I need. You gotta have somebody writing who's contribute and who give, my brother. We gotta have somebody here, because there's some of these people are pledging, right? So we can get the total. And here in your table, look at the card. It says in here, you can contribute whatever it is. Bring the card here. Anybody does not want their name to be announced, it's okay. Just give it and say, I don't want to be announced. A lot of people, they don't want to be announced. But tonight, it is the opportunity. He made a mistake. First of all, let me thank all the committee that has been meeting every week for Brother MJ Khan. They've been coming and meeting in my building. And I want to thank each and every one of them for putting this event together. This event is not sponsored by Mayoral. Yes, me and Patty did it, but they did the hard work. So it's a big hand for them. And thank you all very much for everyone being there. This card in here, please, you can bring the card in here and write your name and information. And if you want to be announced, it can be announced. If you don't need to, you don't need to. But honestly, brother, wallah, this is going to be for a good cause. Whether he makes it or does not make it, but inshallah, he will make it. You know why? He's the only Republican. If we raise the good money and we have the good vote behind him, trust me, we will make an example first in the state of Texas, then in the United States of America, and then all over. Take London as an example. Take London as an example. People stood next to their brother and look what he's doing now. And he's doing a fantastic job in London and everybody respect him and stand next to him. So please, we have somebody to write this information, I don't know.
Well, I'm good now. Thank you very much. So we have somebody else, someone in the hands out there, anyone?
All right, so any other pledges or cards you want to put it on the cards, that's fine. I'll get my card filled out as soon as I get to my table. And we'll probably reach close to 100,000 tonight. Not a big deal.
No, it should be more than that.
From already what we've done.
Yeah.
It's going to be close to, I don't know what, but it is going to be enough, inshallah. We have full faith in Allah and the people of Houston. They're all committed and they want the best of our best people to reach the city.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Yes. Yes.